Now I see
Hey,
last one.
Vaughn.
Hi, Betsy. How are you doing?
I'm doing excellent. Excellent. Thank you for asking. We have been quite busy and just getting stuff done, getting stuff done. It's quasi tax day, April 15th, right? We're supposed to
Yes,
be doing taxes, but that has all been moved to July 15. So it's
yes,
probably wise to do your taxes anyway if you were already going to do your taxes. Do your taxes anyway. I know the IRS is very busy sending out stimulus checks. I've heard from a lot of people that they are getting their checks. I know, have you heard from people too? I haven't seen anything because I never get
yes.
a tax return back. I never get a refund back.
The
But I
government is
do
waiting for
pay.
you to send the money
Yeah,
directly to
for
them.
me to send them money. So everybody, you're welcome. You're welcome for your stimulus checks. But yeah, so we're busy. We are busy. It's a beautiful day, and I was able to come to the office. And just FYI, people, I do have an office in Helotes, in Old Town Helotes, and it's just me here. So I literally come from my car into my office, into my desk, and there's no one else here but me. So I do practice safe social distancing in that respect. And then, of course, everywhere I go, I wear a mask. So I'm getting a little bit better
Yeah.
at just practicing doing that. But I've heard in a lot of cultures, they do that anyway. In Japan, if they're sick, they always wear a mask so that they don't contaminate others.
Mhm.
So I think that is a really good practice to have, right? I mean,
Yes.
never,
I, I,
never.
I pretty much do the same thing. I haven't really been going out. I do live on the northwest part of town, so I call this my northwest office.
Yes.
Um, Before this happened, our physical office was in the Stone Oak area, so that was our north central office. So
Mhm.
I have been housing at the northwest office, and I'm loving it.
Good. Well, let's talk. Okay, so I'm Betsy Nava Flores. If you haven't checked us out before, Yvonne and I have been coming to our Facebook Live webinar for buyers and sellers
Mhm.
for several months now. We have steadily have been working through helping buyers, clients, prospects, people that are just maybe wanting to get some information about the process. So Yvonne and I have been doing this regularly every week as our commitment to you every Wednesday. Um, you know, counting our blessings because
Yeah.
we're still here with you. But we have made that commitment to you because it's important. Buying a home is a huge investment, and it's likely one of the largest investments you're ever going to make in your lifetime. And
Yes.
over the the life of our economy, basically, it's just a proven fact that real estate is the best long-term investment, that's going to hold most of your value, even better than gold, stocks and bonds and those
Hmm.
things. And so it's a big investment. So we don't take that lightly. Yvonne and I have been working with, lots of buyers, um, you know, in the past, and we know there's always a really good question. So no question is a dumb question. So I'm
Right.
Betsy Nava Flores, owner and broker of Harvest Real Estate here in San Antonio, Texas. And Yvonne, do you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Yes. So I'm Yvonne Godina. I've been in the business for probably over 25 years. Um, and so I work for Fairway Independent Mortgage. And I think sometimes there's individuals out there that are like, kind of, who is Fairway? What are they about? And so forth. And so we're
Mm-hmm.
not a small bank, but we are a mortgage bank. So all we do is specialize in mortgage financing. There's
Mm-hmm.
probably over 400 lenders worldwide, and Fairway is in the top 10, not
Wow.
10%, top 10 of what we do in volume and what we close. And so I know that right now there's a lot of talk about what's going on, but we've been the busiest that we've ever been, in
Mm-hmm.
a long time. And so I know you and I, we've helped clients, whether they're getting down payment assistance or just financing. We're getting loans closed, and so we're excited. We're also a big company that is catered to the military market. So
Mhm.
we do have internal programs that we, AWI, that we use and so forth. So I'm excited to be an independent loan officer for Fairway, because they've been supporting us and helping our home buyers get into homes, which is super excited. I know that I recently helped one of your clients where there was with another lender, and we took it and we're almost done. We already have the appraisal. So there's not a huge delay on turn times, or we weren't concerned that we couldn't meet the closing date. So it's still happening, guys, out there. And I know that some things have changed in the lender environment, but Betsy and I would love to kind of walk you through, educate you, and see what we can do. It may not be now that you want to purchase, but maybe later, and we can help educate you on credit or whatever it is that you need in purchasing a home. And so I'm
Right.
also, yeah, and so I also have two girls at home, and then a son. So they keep me busy and entertained. I do have two little assistants, but they're napping on their little doggy bed. But they generally stay in the office with me all the time.
That's awesome. Well, definitely. And as Yvonne says, we have been very busy, and traditionally, springtime is a very busy season
Yes.
for the real estate market. But we also know that there are a lot of agents and lenders right now that are asking the same questions. What's going on in the
Hmm.
market? The reason why Yvonne and I come to you weekly is because we have our finger on the pulse of our real estate
Yes.
market. Every day we're learning something new. Every day we are going to get that information out to you. And so yeah, it's important. Our financial health is important. Your investment is important. And so yes, Yvonne, thank you for helping my client. I'm not going to go into too many details, but that was a huge savings. And I'm not talking about just like immediately for closing. I'm talking about the life of that loan. And so
Yes.
thank you very much. They're very, very grateful. And how's the city down payment assistance program going? I know that we've talked before about down payment programs,
Hmm.
and a lot of them shut down, right? A lot of them shut down for now. Um,
Well, they didn't necessarily shut down. So the first time home buyer programs that might have been with TShack or TDHCA or Seth, those are actually still available from the government. What has happened is some lenders have chosen not to lend on those right now.
okay.
And the main reason that they're probably doing that is you're relying on someone else to get money and to get rates. And if something were to happen in the midst of the process and they shut down, then our client is stuck and doesn't have any financing.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. I know we've got a couple in our pipeline that are doing the city down payment assistance program. And that one is still very much open and they are working, right? And that's still something that we're seeing buyers working through,
Yes.
right? Some of those
And
requirements. I'm
yeah, and
sorry,
that's a
Yvonne.
good that is a good program. And the reason that we're still doing those programs is because it's a true grant from the city of San
Mhm,
Antonio. So we don't have to sell them a loan. We don't have to worry about their interest rates. It's grant money that they're just providing.
mhm. And we don't know when that money runs out. The city usually, they'll let you know, but I know there might still be opportunity for those that are considering being first time home buyers and meet the requirement for that HIP program.
Yes.
If you are thinking about it and you think like, well, oh, I'm wondering, because sometimes that money runs out about midsummer. And but right now I'm not promising this, but it's worth a shot if you are thinking
Right.
that this might be an opportunity for you. There might be some buyers that no longer qualify. And so that program might still be very much available for those that do qualify. There's still, of course, qualifications through Fairway Mortgage in terms of getting your credit approval and those things. But also, I mean, that's a great opportunity. So if you're
Yes.
still kind of thinking about it, maybe thinking about it, Yvonne and I can definitely walk you through that process. And there is a class requirement, correct? There is a class that you have to take. Well, those classes filled up pretty quickly because they wanted you to take that class in person. But because of the city ordinance right now, and businesses are pretty much, if it's non-essential, they have to close. They're doing that, they're able to do the class online, and it costs a little bit more, my understanding, but hey, you know what, it's worth a shot. If that's something that you are interested in seeing if you qualify, give us a call. So Yvonne,
Yes,
let's talk
and
about, yeah, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say those classes only run about $75 to $99. But sometimes with the city of San Antonio, you could be eligible to get anywhere from ten to $15,000. So if you qualify, we're gonna look at those, you know, avenues first to make sure that you do qualify before you
Mhm.
schedule the class. But at that point, that is a small investment to get,
Yeah,
you know, to purchase a home.
yeah. Well, we have like I said, we promise you every week to bring you the latest and greatest updates in both real estate, what the real estate market is
Mhm.
doing, and also what mortgage rates and what the mortgage lending industry is doing. So, Yvonne, I'll let you start first and just kind of brief us on what has that looked like from last week to this week, and have you seen any major changes, or maybe I know you guys usually get a little bit of a feel for what may come next week. But tell us what are you seeing right now?
So, interest rates are probably ranging anywhere from, depending on someone's credit score, their down payment, and so forth. So, hypothetically, if we're looking at somebody who's like around the 660 mark, putting 3.5% down, and the loan is over 100,000, they're probably looking at rates anywhere between 3.375 to 3.5% on a government loan. So it's still
Mhm.
phenomenal interest rates right now. Conventional loans are very much different because those are credit score driven and loan to value driven, which means how much down payment they're putting. So those can
Mhm.
vary anywhere from if they're putting 3% to 20% down. We are finding that those rates are just a little bit higher than the government loans because it's
Mhm.
all based off of the credit and the down payment. But we can
Okay.
definitely look at those. But government loans right now is it's the rates are still low. I mean, it's still
Mhm.
perfect time to purchase a home.
To
Great rates.
purchase. Awesome.
Hmm.
Awesome. Well, we have, and I'm sorry, I've got a
Yeah.
couple of devices going in here, so I was trying to make some of those adjustments. But so I know that a couple of weeks ago we talked to a client that had the opportunity to do either or, right? And
Right.
but the benefit was greater for him to go with the government loan because the interest rate was lower, right? Um, Sometimes lenders don't give you all your options.
Hmm.
Sometimes, you know, they might just say, here, go with this one because you meet this, you know, you have A, B, and C together. So they'll give you this package. But we often see that a mortgage banks, and I personally have experiences, don't give you all the options. And so I was really grateful for that because my client and not myself, you know, sometimes you just kind of make the assumption that the better loan is a 20% down conventional because you're not
Right.
going to pay certain fees, right? But in this case, when you looked at the big picture, it was better for him to do an FHA mortgage and just meeting certain requirements. And so it's so important to interview your mortgage lender, and it's so important to have these conversations and to have some knowledge because you can walk into a situation thinking, oh, this is it, this is how I read it on Newsweek, or I read it online or whatever. But you really want to have that candid conversation with your mortgage
Right.
lender, and that's why I like to work with Yvonne, is because she is very candid, she's very transparent about the offerings that they have. She's never going to try to sell you something just for the sake of taking the risk to get a loan done for you. She is going to tell you the facts so that you can make that informed decision. Okay. So that's the benefit of having an expert team around you to support you in that investment. So the rates are still, I think they're still historically low, correct? We
Yeah,
haven't seen a
exactly.
big change from week to week.
No, they're historically low right now. And, I appreciate you sharing all of that. But yes, our team is transparent. But like I've mentioned before in some of our other, videos, is every situation is different. Every client's needs are different. So
Mhm.
I always recommend that, lean on myself as the expert in the mortgage financing, or even you in the industry, because sometimes when you're comparing your loan situation to maybe someone who purchased 10 years ago or 15 years ago or even a year ago,
Yeah.
it's different, and their needs may have been different, and their assets may have been different. So make sure that when you're getting your information from your lender, you're making a decision based off of your situation, not
Mhm.
being impacted by what someone else did,
Yes,
because they might have had
absolutely.
a different credit score, they could have had different assets, their goals might have been completely different. So
Mhm.
I know you and I take pride in making sure we can find out what our clients' highest value need and how we can help them get
Mhm.
into the home and get into the right loan for their family. So
Absolutely.
always excited to,
Absolutely.
to help and guide and just educate through the process.
Good. Well, that's what it is. You have a heart of a teacher, and I think a lot of times people forget that. Do you want to learn from a teacher or do you want to learn from someone who's just kind of, hell yeah, I heard it. It's definitely something that we work hard to do, is to educate our clients, not just for the short term of purchasing today, but for the long term of your investment.
Right. And I
What
will
are
say
you?
that I know that we're talking about rates, which, we were able to get the client a really good interest rate based off of his needs. But I think sometimes that's not always the most important question, depending on what your needs
Mhm,
are. And sometimes you try to make a decision of, well, this website is offering this interest rate, so let's just go there. And you may
mhm.
not understand that there's more cost in your
Yeah.
fees, or there may be something on there that you're having to pay. So when you look at your APR rate, which means all of your costs associated along with the interest rate, that could be higher because you're paying some more cost in there. So just
Mhm.
make sure you kind of educate yourself through the process and go through everything, and kind
Yeah.
of compare. But if there was one bank offering one interest rate and they were the lowest and best, then there would not be over 400 mortgage companies in the worldwide. So
Yeah, for
um,
sure.
I think that because this is your biggest investment that you're going to make in your life, you definitely want to do it with somebody you trust and feel comfortable with.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So first stop, get pre-qualified with Yvonne.
Mhm.
And then we'll work together. So anything else you want to share about what's going on in the mortgage industry right now?
So just kind of like a recap, I think we talked about it last time, the foreclosures, and the forbearance, actually the
Mhm.
forbearance where mortgage service companies are allowing you to take a forbearance on there. Each service company has something a little bit different, but if your income or your cash flow that you're receiving into your household has not been impacted, then I would encourage you to make those payments. Okay.
Mhm.
And not per se just for you, because what's happening is it's not being deferred onto the end of your loan where you're skipping a payment. Most of these are saying that we are going to allow you, 3 to 6 months to make this payment. So if your payment is $1,000 a month and you go that full 6 months, now you're required to pay $6,000. That is
Yeah.
going to be hard for anybody to do, in that situation.
Yeah.
Um, the other thing is that because that has happened, it's also impacting big banks. We know that recently Chase has just changed their guidelines to
Mhm.
going to a 700 credit score and putting 20% down. A lot of banks may follow suit to them. Hopefully that will not happen, because um, we have majority of first time home buyers in San Antonio, and you probably have like numbers and what's going on sale and so forth. So we want to make sure that those who really need it take advantage, because if everyone takes advantage of it, it is going to devastate the mortgage industry along
Right.
with the real estate industry. And so definitely just be cautious of that. And if you have questions, we're definitely here to help you kind of go through that, or maybe even look at your servicing letter to see
Mhm.
what options you have.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Yvonne.
Mhm.
Even if Yvonne did not originate your mortgage, she can help us to kind of just, just go through those letters. And what about refinancing and home equity line of credit, the HELOC? Are you seeing that those are getting pushed to the side for now, or are they still being accepted? I know a lot of people have asked about, is it a good time to refinance right now? A couple of weeks back, we heard that they had kind of just put the brakes on it because we didn't really know what was going to happen in the next, couple of weeks or months ahead. What do you see going on with the refi and with the HELOC loans?
So at Fairway, we are still doing refinances if it is beneficial for the client and there is a true savings and there is something that's going to be there to help. I will say that the refinances are taking a little bit longer, not because um, it takes a longer process. It's just that we have dedicated to making sure that purchases close on time and first.
Mhm.
A refinance, someone's already living in their home. They're not having to worry about being displaced or, having to look for other stuff. So we've just made a dedication to work on purchases first. Not to say that we're not closing any refinances. We're still going through our day-to-day, flow and so forth. But if something does
Mhm.
come up, we're going to close the purchases before
Okay.
then. So but
Okay.
if somebody has a higher interest rate, we can definitely look at it. I would say rule of thumb, you probably want to just make sure that your interest rate is dropping at least 1 to 1.5% lower, unless you're trying to maybe go from like a 30-year to a 15-year note. Then there may be some, some savings there.
Okay. Okay, so if they have like a 5% interest rate, probably would be beneficial for them, but if they're already at a
Correct.
4, maybe not.
Right. If they're at a
Okay,
4, then it probably is not going to be the best time to refinance right
right.
now.
Okay,
Um,
awesome.
we can still do like they can always give me a call and we can still run numbers for them so that if we do monitor rates, which our team does,
Mhm.
if rates one day drop to, 2%, then we would be calling that client and say, we need to take advantage, we need to
Yeah,
sign you up. So
okay.
definitely, if you have questions just to see if it's going to be a savings, let us know and we're here to help.
Okay, awesome. Well, those are awesome updates because we're week 4 and
Mhm.
shelter in place. I'm hopeful that we're going to start to reopen little by little. That not diminishing the fact that this is a very weird and unprecedented time, but I'm hopeful that we are eventually getting closer to
Mhm.
life as we previously know it. Um, Market, of course, for us here in San Antonio, and I'll just go for the whole entire MLS area that we're in San Antonio. Year over year, we're actually 5% increase in listings from last year to this year. So we have seen an increase in listings. We have seen month over month, they have dropped a little bit, but barely. They've dropped for maybe 300 listings from February to March. And you know, for those that are actually pending, we've seen a slight decrease by maybe like 20 listings that have not been put into pending status. So we're seeing a little bit of a decrease from month over month, but year over year we're ahead of the curve. So we're not seeing a huge slowdown like a lot of my counterparts. I have a lot of realtor um, network friends around the country, and some are seeing some huge drastic drops. Some are seeing amazing markets. And so San Antonio, I think, is just one of those markets that is steady all the time. We don't blow
Mhm.
up with price increases, and our unemployment rates are a little bit higher than they have been, but still, nonetheless, we are still seeing folks that were laid off and this week they have a job. So
Mm.
we're not uh, without work. There's plenty of work to have here in San Antonio. So we're grateful for that. But well, we're still working. I think this month is probably one of the busiest months I've had in the last 6 months. And
Mhm.
and it's just traditional. That's the way our springs work. Spring is a hot time for real estate, literally, right?
Yes.
Literally.
A-
So,
And I know that you're being super safe when you're doing your virtual tours and your tours with your clients. So,
yes,
um, which is amazing. So I know we're both here just to kind of protect our clients and help guide them through the process. So let
yes.
us know if you need anything.
Absolutely. And you can always find us here on Facebook. You can find
Mhm.
Yvonne at the Godina group on Facebook, and you can find me at Harvest Agents on Facebook. We're also on Instagram, and you can always pick up the phone and give us a call. If you have any questions, or if you would like to share this information with someone that you think might be benefiting from it, please do share it. And as always, have a fantastic week.
Yes.
We love what we do. We have a desire to serve our clients to the utmost. Like we always say, we pour our heart into your home. Uh, we love your referrals. So if you know someone that can use our services, definitely give us a call. You guys have a fantastic week, and we will see you next Wednesday.
Have a good one.
Okay.